Hello everyone, myself Dr. Kirti Sahu. Today I shall discuss few more important example based on Cauchy integral formula. Right? So here the first example which I am dealing with is the integration of c of cos pi z square upon z minus 1 into z minus 2, where c is given as mod of z plus I equal to 1.5. So as per our procedure, what we do, we will first find out the center and the radius of the circle, right? So c is the given by this equation, mod of z plus I equal to 1.5, right? Obviously what we do in order to find out the center, so in this modulus term, just leave this z, also the remaining part, what is that I represents the y coordinate of the center. So the coefficient of I is 1, that's why y coordinate of the center is nothing but 1, and change the sign just before this. So as it is written plus I, so I should write minus I. Other than I, there are no other terms right left, so that's why the x coordinate must be 0, right? So in this way we get the center of this circle, and but natural, what is the radius? Radius is the right hand side, so hence the radius is 1.5. So C is a circle with center at 0, minus 1 and radius 1.5. Now with this center and radius, let us draw the circle. So center is on y-axis with coordinate 0, minus 1. So let us have 0, minus 1, right? And measure the 1.5 unit as it is on the y-axis, so we will measure 1.5 unit up as well as 1.5 unit down, right? So when we measure 1.5 unit down, so you will have to subtract from this minus 1, 1.5. So minus 1 minus 1.5 will be nothing but minus 2.5. Okay, and when we go upward, then we'll have to add this much unit to this coordinate. So minus 1 plus 0.5, 1.5 will be nothing but 0.5. So it will be the next point required for drawing the circle will be 0.5. Okay, so I hope this selection of 2 points is clear to you all. This is center which is on y-axis. So we measure 1.5 unit on above this point as well as 1.5 unit below this point. When I am taking below this point, I will have to subtract the unit equal to radius, as well as when I am measuring it up, then I have to add this to this point coordinates. So minus 1 plus 1.5 will be 0.5. So in this way we get the 2 points, right? Okay, so let us join, we obtained the 2 points, so let us join these 2 points to draw the circle. So in this way we get the circle. Obviously this direction of this will be a anti-clockwise. So we have obtained the center, radius, and we have drawn the circle. Let us move to the next step. The next step is to find out the poles. Poles are given by equating denominator to 0. So let us find that. So poles are given by equating denominator to 0. So we get z minus 1 into z minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so this implies z equal to 1, z minus 1 0, so z equal to 1, and z minus 2 0, so z equal to 2. So these are the pole. Now these values occurs only one times, that's why the nature of the pole is simple pole, right? Now let us have the next step, that is to see their location, whether it lies inside or lies outside the circle. Okay, now as z equal to 1 completely real, so it will be as good as x is equal to 1, right? X is equal to 1, where does it lies? So before that we need to find out what is the point of intersection of this circle with x-axis, because I don't know what is the coordinate of this point, right? unless we don't know the point coordinate of this point, we cannot plot those two poles. Okay, so let us first work out to find out the point of intersection. These 2 points, let us call these 2 points as say A and B. So I am interested in the coordinates of these points. So how to find this? So this is our origin, which is O as per notation. Let I denote the center by P, right? So here the coordinate of origin is what natural 0 0, right? Now, so we know the coordinates of origin, we know the coordinates of point P. We just have to find out the coordinates of point B. So for this we will use the Pythagoras theorem, right? If you observe that here the angle formed is nothing but 90 degree. So we can use the Pythagoras theorem to get the coordinates of point B. How it could be done? So see here. So according to Pythagoras theorem, we are interested in this much distance so that you will get the coordinates of point B. So according to Pythagoras theorem, we will write OB square, right? This OB square is equal to hypotenuse, that is PB square minus OP square, right? So PB square minus OP square is nothing but OB square. We know the value of PB. PB is nothing but a radius which is equal to 1.5 given, right? So it is 1.5 whole square minus OP is this distance. What is this distance? This unit distance is nothing but 1 unit. Okay, because the coordinate of this point is 1 minus 1. So this distance is 1. So it is 1 square. Now simplify this. So what you will get? So it is 2.25 minus 1 square. That is 1. So what we are left with? 1.25. So this is the value of OB square. You can take the square root of this. So in order to get OB. So square root of this will come out to be something around 1 point something, right? It will be somewhere around 1 point something, right? So this you will work out, okay? So it will be under root of 1.25 will be something around the 1 more than 1, right? 1 point something. So let us plot the pole. So as this point is something around 1 point something, so let us plot the pole z equal to 1. So that will be over here as close to 1 point something. So it will be somewhere over here. So this is the pole z equal to 1 and then z equal to 2 far away from this. So that will be z equal to 2, right? So what we find? One pole is lying inside whereas other point is lying outside, right? Remember this point is somewhere around 1 point, right? Okay. So it is, so therefore only poles, simple pole at z equal to 1 lies inside C, isn't it? Therefore now we will define the function. So let f of z equal to numerator, that is cos pi z square, and the part of the denominator which is lying outside. So what is that part? Z equal to 2, which I am getting from z minus 2. Okay, so we will write upon z minus 2 is analytic inside and on C. So in this way we will have a desired function. So let us write the given integral in terms of f of z. So therefore integration over C of cos pi z square upon z minus 1 into z minus 2 equal to integration over C of, we will write f of z, right? So see here this f of z, this part is utilized in f of z. whatever is left should be written as it is, that is z minus 1 dz. Look at this, it is just as per the requirement of Cauchy integral formula. So what is that? Integration of c f of z upon z minus a is nothing but 2 pi I times f of a. Just identify a and get the answer. So what is a? So z minus a, z minus 1. On comparing we get a as 1. So what will be its answer? According to Cauchy integral formula, it is 2 pi I times f of 1. Now you just need to find out f of 1. How to get this? So we will make use of equation 1. Okay. Now, so in equation 1, just put z as 1. So what we have? Cos of pi into 1 square upon 1 minus 2. So 1 square is 1. Cos pi is, value of cos pi is minus 1, right? Cos pi is minus 1. So therefore minus 1 upon minus 1 is plus 1. So what you will have is 2 pi I. So in this way we will get the value of the desired integral using the Cauchy integral formula. Okay, so it is a very easy procedure. Remember, the most important part of this problem is nothing but this one, when we have a center on y-axis, right? So in that case you will have to measure the distance equal to the radius up as well as down. When you are measuring up, you will have to add. When you are measuring down, you will have to subtract that much unit from this coordinates. Okay, so in this way you can get, is the first thing that, and second thing that you have to remember is that before plotting the poles, you have to find out the point of intersection of a circle with the x-axis by making use of Pythagoras theorem, right? This I have mentioned over here, and you can get the result. So easily you can get the results and solve any type of example. I would like to take one more example based on this. So let us take one more example. So it is so the example 2 is evaluate integration over C of z minus 1 upon z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2 dz, where C is mod of z equal to 3 by Cauchy integral formula, right? So we can draw easily the circle. C is a circle given by mod of z equal to 3 with center at, what will be its center? No other terms other than z. So obviously center is at origin and radius 3. Okay, so therefore we will draw this circle. Circle is having a center at origin, okay, and radius is 3 unit. So either you can measure 3 unit on right, left, or you can measure it up, down, right? That is on y-axis as well. So it is 3 0. This is the point, minus 3 0. Once you get 2 points, join the circle passing through these 2 points. Draw the circle. So now we have obtained the circle, right? Now then find out the poles. Poles are given by z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2 equal to 0. Right? So what we are getting here? So z plus 1 whole square is 0. Right? So it means z equal to minus 1 twice. You are getting z plus 1 0 2 times. So that's why z equal to minus 1 2 twice and z equal to 2. So what we are finding here that the out of the two pole, one is occurring only once. So it is a simple pole, whereas this is occurring more than one times. So this is a pole of order 2. Okay. So therefore z equal to 2 is simple pole and z equal to minus 1 is a pole of order 2, right? So let us plot these pole. As I told you that I am having no other terms other than no imaginary part over here. So this is as good as x is x, right? So it is x is equal to 2. X is equal to 2 is somewhere over here, right? So that this is the pole z equal to 2 and z equal to minus 1, which is also not including any imaginary part. That's why it is same as x is equal to minus 1, y will be 0, right? So this is z equal to minus 1. In this way we get both the poles and both are lying inside C, right? So therefore these are the poles and lies inside C. So let us define the function f of z. So therefore what will be f of z? So f of z is equal to numerator as per our definition. So that is z minus 1 and the part of the denominator which is lying outside. So I think both are lying inside. So there are no part lying outside. So that's why only numerator is the function f of z is analytic. You may call it as equation 1. Right? Now what is the next step? Is to write this integral, given integral in terms of f of z. So therefore integration over c of z minus 1 upon z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2 will become integration over c of f of z upon z minus 1 into z minus 2. Sorry, z plus 1 whole square. Right? Now, what we find here? We have f of z and the other terms. These two terms are in product. So as per requirement, we need to separate these two terms. Right? So here we will apply the method of partial fraction. Right? In order to separate these two terms. So let us see how these two terms are separated. Or we can have the other way around also. We can write it as, okay, so let us call it as equation number 2. Let us apply partial fraction method. So consider 1 upon z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2. Now both the factors are linear, out of which this is linear repeated. So we will apply the case for linear repeated. So let us write it as a1 upon z plus 1 plus a2 upon z plus 1 whole square plus a3 upon z minus 2. Right? Let us find a1, a2, a3. So this implies we have 1 equal to, try to get this term everywhere. If some terms are missing, then we will have to multiply numerator by that missing term. Okay, so I want z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2. So what is missing? One term of z plus 1 and another term z minus 2. So I will multiply a by z plus 1 into z minus 2. On the same line, a2 will get multiplied by z plus 1 whole square is completely there. So only z minus 2 is missing. So we will multiply by z minus 2. And then a3 will get multiplied by z plus 1 whole square. Okay, you can call it as equation number 3. Let us simplify. Open the bracket and simplify. So what we have is this implies 1 is equal to, open all the brackets, so we have a1 into z square minus z minus 2, then a2 into z minus 2 plus a3 into z square plus 2z plus 1. Okay, collect the like power term, coefficients of like powers of z. So what are the coefficients of z square? a1 plus a3. Then coefficient of z. So here we find coefficient of z, that is minus a, 1. Then a2 and here it is 2a3 times z. Okay. Then next constant term. What are the constant terms? Minus 2a1 minus 2a2 plus a3. Okay. Now equate coefficient of like powers of z, equating coefficient of like powers of z. We get, so what we get? We get coefficient of z square on the left hand side is missing, it means its coefficient is 0. Okay, so a1 plus a3 is equal to 0. Then coefficient of z again on the left hand side is missing, so that is a1 plus a2 plus 2a3 equal to 0. And then the constant term, so that is minus 2a1 minus 2a2 plus a3 equal to 1. Right, so like this we will simplify. See what we have after simplification. So you will get after simplification, so this implies, if I put z as minus 1 in this expression, right, in order to make this process simpler, if I put z as minus 1, so this first and last term vanishes and minus 1 over here, so minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, so what will be a2? a2 will be nothing but minus 1 by 3, and as we have a1 plus a3 0, so that's why a3 will be plus 1 by 3, right? So now we have a2 and a3, so we can get a1. So what is that? So put a1 over here, so what you will get? 2a3, so 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3, 1 by 3, so what you will get is a1 is minus 1 by 3. Okay, so in this way we get the values of the constants required in equation number 3. So let us put these values in equation 3. So we get so therefore what we have, so this will get replaced by 1 upon z plus 1 whole square, z minus 2 will get replaced by, so what it will be? So equation 2 implies integration of z minus 1 upon z plus 1 whole square into z minus 2 is equal to nothing but a1 is minus 1 by 3, so integration of minus f of z times, now we will put the values, so minus 1 by 3 upon z plus 1, a2 is again minus 1 by 3, so it is plus minus 1 by 3 upon z plus 1 whole square, then a3 is 2 by 3 upon z minus 2, right. The substituting value of a1, a2, a3 obtained from equation 3 directly in equation number 2. So what we get? So here we have, let us multiply it with f of z and see what form of the Cauchy integral formula we are getting, right. So that is equal to integration, and take minus 1 by 3 outside, f of z upon z plus 1, then again minus 1 by 3 integration OC of f of z upon z plus 1 whole square, and then plus 2 by 3 integration of f of z upon z minus 2 over c. Here the power of this linear term is 1, here also 1, so we will apply Cauchy integral formula, whereas here the power is more than 1, so generalized Cauchy integral formula is applicable, right. So according to Cauchy integral formula, the value of this comes out to be 2 pi I. What is a? So compare it with z minus a, so what you will have? A as minus 1, so that therefore it is f of minus 1, right. Then minus 1 by 3 according to generalized Cauchy integral formula, which is nothing but this one, right. So here we will compare first the power in order to get the value of n. So n plus 1 is 2, right. So n is 1, so put n over here in this formula, so it is 2 pi I upon 1 factorial, and then 1 times derivative, that is f dash at a is again minus 1, okay. Now see again, compare z minus a is 2, so according to the formula it is 2 pi I times f of 2, okay. Simplify, find out f of minus 1 by making use of the equation number 1. So recall equation 1 is nothing but, f of z equal to z minus 1. Equation 1 is f of z equal to z minus 1. So in this you will put z as first minus 1, right. So minus 1 it will be minus 2. So remaining terms as it is, this is minus 2. Then put, differentiate this one. So what will be its derivative? Its derivative will be 1. So obviously on putting z as minus 1, this will remain 1. There will be no change. Okay. So it is minus 2 pi I upon 3 into 1. Similarly, put z as 2 over here, so it will be 2 minus 1. That is what? The value of f of 2. So it is plus 4 pi I upon 3 into 1. Right? Simplify and see what we get. So after simplification, you will get this terms as 0. This is minus 2, yes, f of minus 1, minus 2. So what we have? 4 pi I by 3, and f of 2 is 2 minus 1, that is 1. So we have that 4 pi I 3 into 1. Simplify. So now f dash of minus 1 is nothing but z is minus 1. So it is remains 1. So what will be its answer? So it will be 4 pi I plus 4 pi I by 3. So that is 8 pi I by 3 minus. So how much it will be? It will be 8 pi I by 3. Okay. 4 pi I plus 4 pi I. So that is 8 pi I by 3 minus 2 pi I by 3. So it will be 8 minus 2, 6 pi I by 3. That is 2 pi I. So the answer is 2 pi I. Right? So in this way we get the answer. So I hope the method discussed in this video lecture are clear to you all. So on the same line one can get the answer for any type of problem based on Cauchy integral formula. Thank you for watching the video.